Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another Supercoach Insider podcast. It's another episode of Booms and Bust. We've got a special guest from the Dr. Supercoach podcast. JB, how are you, mate?
Good, mate. Thanks for having me on.
No problems. As people have seen, these are short and sharp episodes just talking about a potential boom and bust with our guest. Before we jump into that, as always, check us out on all our social media platforms, in particular YouTube, Spotify. Get in contact with us via Supercoach Insider 100 or Swizz26. Mate, how can the good folk out there get in touch with you?
You can only find us this year at patreon.com/Dr. Supercoach. No free stuff this year. We're Grinches. The Grinches have come for Christmas. No freebies.
Yes. All the freebies come to me, but the great paid content go to the boys.
True. Great plug, mate.
So we are talking booms and busts, mate. We'll start with the good. Who is either like a kind of unique player or a boom player that you are looking at this season to have an absolute ripping year?
All right, I've cheated. I've gone with two booms. I've got double boom here. So I'm going to start with the ruck line because I think it's super out in the open. R2 could be anyone. I'm going to go to Lloyd Meek. We saw a lot of good stuff from Meek last year. Very, very low ownership. If I'm going with an R2, that's going to be over 500K. He's right in the hot seat for me. So Lloyd Meek, big fan. And then I've gone even more rogue. Somehow, for my other pick, I'm going for Ed Richards. Did see a new role in the midfield last year. Had some very, very big, juicy scores. Has a huge ceiling. He is midfielder only, but he's the type of guy that I can see pumping out a 110 plus average if he has a full season, full training. He's in the midfield mix now. It's like 1% owned. One to keep an eye on, definitely. They're my booms.
So for the fans out there, I don't actually talk to the guests beforehand, and I don't get them to tell me their booms and busts, and I don't tell them who some of the other ones we've had because, especially you guys, you probably can be watching in different orders, and it gives me also a bit of a surprise factor. And but it's funny that you will scroll through one, maybe you've already watched it, but this is not the first time we have had Ed Richards. Believe it or not, mate. Yes. So you might want to scroll back through those videos, guys, and have a look. But yes, we've now got two on the Ed Richards train.
Another cultured coach out there. I love to see it.
And we're talking about the positive, but let's get on to the negative, mate. Who is the person who's not getting the job done in 2025?
Oh, mate, when I hear busts, I think of one man this year. Everyone's falling for this one. Filippo. I'm not quite sure. People will be calling him by the ladder of that combination if they start him in their team. Look, I get it. He scored some decent scores in the midfield last year. Is he even going to get that role? Is his body ready to go and fully dive into that role? I think he's a good enough forward as it is. I'm not sure he suddenly becomes this amazing midfielder, 85, 80 plus scorer. I think he could just hover around the low 70s like he's pretty much, that would be even a season best for him, I'm sure. And people are going to go to round 8 and go, why have I still got this guy on my team? He's maybe 44K and he's averaging 72. Whoop-de-doo. I don't think Filippo is the guy. That is my bust.
I love that, mate. And if you haven't watched the Port Pod, watch that. If you have already, you probably already know what JP's thoughts on those who aren't picking Horn Francis. If you are picking Filippo over Horn Francis, pause this pod right now, go and change your team. That would be probably your advice, mate.
Or just do Dream Team or something. I'm not quite sure, but...
Yeah, no, exactly. No, I love that, guys. That's what it's about, short and sharp. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, JB, for joining us for Booms and Busts.
Cheers, mate.
And we'll talk soon on another episode of Booms and Busts. See you guys.